Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. Today we are going to learn how to say I intend to do verbs. So I intend to do something. I intend to park my car in the student parking lot. I intend to eat hamburgers for breakfast, and I intend to kick your ass, or anything like that. So as you can see, this construct, this grammar construct, is used to indicate your intentions of doing something, and it's primarily used to express one's own intention. You don't see this being used for the third person because in the Japanese language it's very inappropriate to directly say what you think somebody's intentions or desires are. You'll notice this pattern of decorum in other grammar patterns too, such as hoshi. Hoshi, which means I want or to want. You're never gonna speak for a third person and say what he or she wants. You're gonna maybe say it, but then add a I think at the end just to soften the presumptuousness of how much you know about that person or how much you're speaking for that person. In any case, back to this grammar structure, it can be used sometimes to denote your addressee's intentions, the second person. So if you're asking somebody what are your intentions, you can use this grammar pattern as long as there's a air of familiarity between you two already. You shouldn't just go up to somebody and say, what are you intending to do? That's kind of rude. And even if it is somebody that you've met before, if it's a person of relatively higher status than you, you're not going to want to do that either. Okay, so let's get down to business. What is the grammar pattern, or what is it in Japanese at least? So for this grammar pattern, we are going to employ the dictionary form of verbs followed by the phrase tsumori desu. So if you don't recall from a previous video, or if you didn't watch that video at all, we covered the dictionary form of verbs, and this is basically just the form of verbs you would find in a Japanese dictionary or an English-Japanese dictionary. If you looked up a verb, it would be in this form because it's considered the most basic form conjugation for verbs. So this grammar pattern keeps it simple. You just have to use the really basic form of verbs followed by tsumori desu or tsumori da if you want to be plain. So what we're going to do is we're going to do examples. We're going to do one example for the positive version of this grammar pattern, and then we'll do an example for the negative form when you want to say I intend not to do something. So first up, of course, is the positive one, and our example for this will be Nihongo o narau tsumori desu. So what does that mean? We have some familiar words in there. We have the word Nihongo, which is Japanese. We have the particle o, which is the direct object marker. We have the verb narau, and this might be new. This is another way to say learn or to kind of study maybe, but learn. Then we have the grammar pattern that is in discussion right now, tsumori desu. So we have Nihongo o narau tsumori desu. And in English this is I plan to learn Japanese or I intend to learn Japanese. And yeah, so I kind of broke it down word by word before I even translated it into English, but the big thing to note here is that narau is in dictionary form, and it's followed by tsumori and the desu, or you can change that to da if you want to be more plain. Okay, so now what if you want to say that you intend not to do something? Then we are going to basically do the same thing, but in lieu of the dictionary form of the verb, we're going to do the negative nai form of the verb, which we covered in a previous video too. It's basically just the negative version of the dictionary form because it's pretty much the most basic negative form in terms of difficulty in conjugating it. So it's the simplest negative form, the nai form, and then you follow it by the tsumori again. Some beginning speakers might confuse the way to say I intend not to do something. They might like change it to tsumori dewa nai or something like that, but that is not the right way to do it. Okay, so let's just move on to the example, and it should be really intuitive. So our example sentence will be Kyo gakkou ni ikanai tsumori desu. And what we have here, we break it down. We have kyo, which is today. We have gakkou, which is school. Ni is the directional marker, location, destination marker. Ikanai is the negative nai form of the verb iku, and iku would be the dictionary form of that verb, so we have the negative nai form, which is ikanai. Then we have tsumori, and we have desu again. So All together again, 今日学校に行かないつもりです。What does that mean? It means I'm planning on not going to school today, or I intend not to go to school today. And so yeah, that is a very simple grammar pattern, つもりです to mean I intend to do verb or I intend to not do verb. It's really simple relative to other grammar patterns in that you just have to use the dictionary form the verb and then just plug in that simple phrase つもり or des at the end of it and you're good to go. So yeah, that's it for this video lesson. Thanks for watching.